The Preston School of Industry, also known as Preston Castle, was a reform school located in Ione, in Amador County. The cornerstone was laid in December 1890, and the institution was opened in June 1894 when 7 wards, minors under the guardianship of the state, but not necessarily juvenile offenders, were transferred there from San Quentin State Prison. It is considered one of the oldest and best-known reform schools in the United States. As of 2024, Preston Castle remains in considerable disrepair, and efforts to restore Preston Castle are underway. The Preston Castle Foundation, which purchased the castle for $1 from the state in 2014, is overseeing the restoration work. It could be many years before Preston Castle is fully restored, and it is estimated that the full cost of repairs could be as much as $45 million. Napa State Hospital, or Insane Asylum, was a huge operation with mining, farming, and questionable practices. After its closure, the hills surrounding the asylum have become popular hiking and biking trails. Some caves from previous inmates can be found along with a giant, unmarked cemetery. These mines are haunted by the White Witch. In life, her name was Mary. She was a nanny in the 1800s when there was still coal mining in the mines. All of the children died of illnesses, and she was accused of witchcraft, then executed. She guards the mines, and when people see her, she is all white. This old church, located on Leland Avenue in San Francisco, has a history of hauntings. Late at night, footsteps can be heard walking up the stairs, doors shut, etc. Also, on more than one occasion late at night, doors that normally open easily will be impossible to open, as if a ton of bricks is on the other side of the door. Later, the doors will be found wide open. The Eagle Saloon, now the Clayton Club, was a building that was brought upriver from San Francisco to the town of Clayton back in the 1860s. At that time, this was one of the 5 saloons in the town of Clayton, and it was one of the places that holds the most history of hauntings in Clayton. Things have been known to move about, cold spots, glasses moving, and the lights to go on and off on their own. Kaitak Adams Interpretive Center on Watsonville Road is the site of an Indian burial grounds now buried under the asphalt parking lot. Drivers have reported that at night while driving by, that their air conditioners in their cars will suddenly turn on and blast cold air upon them. There are trails to take through the park to see ancient rock carvings made by the once native Ohlone tribe. This was once the main village for the area. Mansion ruins and the surrounding area are said to be haunted by former owner Henry Miller and his daughter. The daughter has been seen in open fields riding a horse. She was killed on site while riding a horse. She fell and broke her neck. There has been ghostly visions on horseback and myths seen floating in hills for decades. Also reported, an unidentified man called the kiosk at the park to report this strange sighting to park employees. He stated that he and a companion were driving down Pole Line Road, which runs through the park at about midnight. Alongside the wooded road, a girl in a long white prom dress was walking. The old Gilroy Hotel, the Milias, has reports there are 2 ghosts that haunt this building. A woman in her 20s and a little girl. Story goes, when the building was a hotel, a man went and offed 2 people. The woman is seen at the top of the stairs, and the little girl is seen in the hallway. Footsteps are heard. The electric piano's keys are struck when it is not plugged in. Lights go on and off. The little girl is sometimes seen looking out the window. One employee recalls being touched on the back of the neck by one of the ghosts. Doors rattle as though someone is locked inside and can't get out. In the late 1960s, a swim coach who taught at the indoor pool next to the Memorial Park kidnapped all of his kids that he was teaching and led them to this creek that is alongside the trail in the back of this park and left them there, told them to wait that he'd be back. The kids stayed there all night until there were no more people around. The swim coach returned and off them in the woods and left their bodies in the creek. It is said that if you walk through the park at nighttime up the trail about 200 yards, you will witness many strange things. Many rock slides will occur in strange spots. You will find yourself in cold spots and see dark shadows. As you reach the circle clearing, stop and listen for a few minutes. You will hear the children's footsteps all around you, some laughing and running, some crying and pleading for your help. There are several buildings on the old naval base that are reported to be haunted. One is the old infirmary, which was built in the 1930s. When the base was still operated by the Navy, security police officers would check the building at night and reported seeing a little girl dressed in old-style clothing inside staring at them. Many employees have seen an older woman in the pet crematory gardening. There is only one gardener employed at the Oakland SPCA, and it is a man. However, the real gardener states that he never has to do any gardening behind the gates of the crematory because it is always weed-free. Many employees have asked who the lady is weeding in the crematory. When their supervisors are approached with this question, they simply state, "It's as a ghost." We don't know why or how she came to garden at the crematory, but are grateful that she does a wonderful upkeep of her area. This used to be a movie theater and was burned down mysteriously, and then it was built as an opera house and it burned down with people in it, but it was yet again a mystery on how it burned down. For more info on it, go to the Phoenix Theater history. Anyway, today this place is a hangout for kids and bands play here, but people see weird things up in the balcony. You see out of the corner of your eye a white figure or a really dark shadow. In the bathrooms, you hear things in the bathroom. The balcony is locked, so no one can go in there unless there's a big show. The basement is the worst. If you ask the owner about it, he will tell you about the place, and if you know the band, AFI, they have witness stuff too, so if you want to check it out, go for it. It's an awesome place to get scared in. Most of the hauntings happen in the bar area of the restaurant. The vintage light fixtures will go dim and then swing back and forth for a short period of time, then stop as abruptly as it started. A strong cold spot on the north edge of the dance floor. Most spooky, however, is when in the ladies' room in a stall, a knocking will happen on the door when no one has entered. Also, in the mirror, a gentleman with a decorated festive hat will be looking at you. When you turn to see if he is behind you, he is gone. Employees have similar stories. The hotel has closed up tunnels under it that at one time connected to the local police department. The hotel was at one time a very active brothel. Located at the corner of Sutter and Octavia Streets, the Queen and Hotel is an elegant Victorian-style hotel, which dates back to the 1890s. If you want, you can spend a night or so in Miss Mary Lake's room. Before the hotel even was a hotel, it was a school for girls since few girls had access to schools back then. Miss Mary Lake was the teacher. She was dedicated to her work. But when the school was closed down, she was heartbroken, and as she eventually died, her spirit remained. Room 410 top floor is where you can find her room. Of course, Alcatraz is in this list. Voices in the former eating area as well as the cell blocks are heard when no one else is around. Footsteps and the sounds of cell doors opening and closing also echo throughout the corridors. People have reported feeling cold spots in certain areas and the feeling that they are not alone, even when they are. Also, cold spots are felt in the dining hall. There's a police officer ghost that roams Golden Gate Park. People will get pulled over and get speeding tickets by this guy, but when they go to file it through the courts, they'll find out that the officer listed doesn't exist. He's been dead for 10 years. Anyway, the story goes that if a cop in the park is trailing you, you need to go outside of the park first before you pull over. And once you do, the ghost cop will disappear. And in the Strawberry Hill and Stowe Lake area, It has been said that in the 1920s or 30s a woman became pregnant and hid the pregnancy from her family. She disposed of the child and offed herself in the reservoir. At night, if you're at Stowe Lake, you may see her walking around Strawberry Hill looking for her baby. The hotel was reportedly a brothel owned by a madam. She reportedly haunts room 33. She has been known to knock on doors of the hallway the room is in, and when people open the doors after repeated knocks, no one is around. There is also reports of a little girl roaming the hallways and trying to get into room number 42. It is actually an amazing hotel and a great place to stay, and with large groups of people, cheap too. There are always cold spots to be felt and the sense of someone watching. Rayleigh's is haunted by the ghosts of the 1897 train derailment. In 1897, Vallejo welcomed the royals of England with a train ride through the Napa Valley. It derailed and Princess Margaret and Princess Marie Elena died instantly, as well as 100 of the passengers that accompanied them from the ride from New York to Vallejo to the Napa Valley. The 100 passengers that traveled with them were the 100 servants of the princesses of England. This is one of the places where the infamous Zodiac offed a young lady and her boyfriend back in the 50s or 60s. The hangout of the Zodiac was supposedly on this road, as well the road is nothing but abandoned ranches and utility buildings now, but a strange mist hugs to the top of the hills to the left on most nights rather than sticking to the lake to the right. It is on the right side of the road, where the Zodiac supposedly wrote taunting letters to the police. EVPs recorded picking up a strange, heavy breathing that seemed to be from a woman, and a strange feeling of not being alone. I may have to make a part 2, 3, 4, and 5 to this video about creepy places in Northern California, as there are just way too many for just one video. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted when I make more of these videos about NorCal. And as always, happy trails!